You're listening to 17 Carat K-Pop, the show that's a little bit of everything with a K-pop twist. Visit 17caratkpop.weebly.com for more information about the show. That's 17caratkpop.weebly.com. Enjoy the show! Today's clip show is all about LOONA, the LOONA music video worlds that are created, and my theories surrounding the music video storylines, a dream set list for what a LOONA tour would look like, and just other comments and thoughts about LOONA that I've made throughout the course of the show so far. Enjoy! I've said before, LOONA is a company that in general, you should just be inclined to support. It's an all-woman company with a very, very small staff of about 15 members, but they really put so much care into telling these stories, and a lot of their music is about female empowerment or just in general empowerment and confidence, but the song Butterfly is definitely about that. And so actually the film crew that LOONA works with, they traveled to Hong Kong, China, Iceland, France, Korea, and the USA. And so they filmed girls in all of those places. So girls of all skin colors, backgrounds, hobbies, and interests. Like, they filmed girls in all those different parts of the world, and they all kind of were compiled into the Butterfly music video. And it's really, and it goes with the colorful butterfly-themed album cover art, which is Every Color Too. It's just a very cool Celebrating Differences anthem. And the choreography for their live version of performances was really cool because there's so many members of this group, and so they all, like, when they all line up, they look like and they, like, move their arms. It's hard to explain, but if you see it, you'll know what I mean. The way they, like, rotate their arms makes it look like butterfly wings flying. It's really a very, very cool piece of performance art. The LOONAverse exists on this Mobius strip, and there are basically two sides of it. So there is one side that is, like, Earth, like, just regular people, and the characters in those music videos that represent that side of the strip are really, like, just down to earth and the people you'd see in your daily life, and there's nothing, like, supernatural about them or anything. And then there's the other side, which is, like, this alternative universe where the members have different powers and things like that. So one of the subunits is LOONA YYXY, and so this subunit basically lives on the non-relatable side of this. So they are in this utopia, it's called Eden. They're basically living in this place called Eden, obvious symbolism there, and ultimately the mission for the members of LOONA YYXY in their group videos and their solo works for the members that are a part of this subunit seems to be really about trying to escape Eden. Although Eden is depicted as this beautiful, glorious, heavenly place, it seems like they really would rather just be with more humans and get the full human experience, ups and downs included, and so it feels like this kind of journey back to understanding just what it's like to live among the people, I guess. And so that seems to be their ultimate quest, and so this Eden place is located between two other worlds in the LOONAverse. So there's Earth, and there's, like, what's called a Middle Earth, which is between Earth and Eden. So those are the two sides of this Mobius strip I'm talking about. We have Earth and Eden, and then in between them is Middle Earth. Okay, with me so far? Alright. The next subunit I want to talk about is LOONA 1/3. So LOONA 1/3 is the one that you will see on Earth. So LOONA 1/3 is just Earth, and it is basically the storylines are just relatable and just about friendship and relationships and ups and downs and a whole host of human emotions and all that stuff. And so this is what's, considered on the normal side of the strip. So that one's pretty straightforward. The third one is Odd Eye Circle. So Odd Eye Circle is the subunit whose members exist in what's called the Middle Earth, the place between the other two locations. And so the members of this group are the ones that have certain powers. So they align, as the song titles will suggest, that we'll talk about later. Their powers seem to relate to when the moon comes out and when an eclipse occurs and other things that have to do with the weather and the natural elements. It's like they're all Mother Nature in a sense. It's really more like, I guess, since it's about the moon and stuff, it's kind of like they're werewolves but chic. And so werewolf chic is like the whole branding of Odd Eye Circle in that's one way to put it. And so because their powers do seem to align with when the moon comes out and things like that, which we'll talk about more later. And so anyway, the members of Odd Eye Circle, their traits change over time, so their powers seem to change over time, and sometimes they're enacted in one moment and not in the next. So they're less predictable and obviously less relatable because of the superpower aspect. And basically, the Odd Eye Circle members are the ones that have the full power to travel between the worlds. And so just to be clear, some of what I'll be talking about is based on my opinion about what I see happening and how I interpret these videos, but as is the case with the other K-pop video universes we've had a deep dive into through the show, please keep in mind that a lot of it is intentionally left up to viewers to decide for themselves. So these are my thoughts and opinions about it. And some of it has been confirmed, some of it hasn't. It is fun to kind of create your own narrative, though, whether it's what they really intended it to be or not. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, so it seems like the Odd Eye Circle members are the ones who basically have the most freedom to travel. So they're in this Middle Earth, so they can most easily travel to the left or the right universes that have to do with them. And so it seems like they are very take charge, and they're using their powers to realize that they can basically actively take ownership of their own stories and their own lives, and if they don't like it in the Middle Earth, they can choose a new Earth, in a sense. They can kind of choose their new route they want to take in their lives. Don't need to be just kind of passive and wait for opportunities to come to them. They can kind of just reach for their goals and reach for the sky. Which is a terrible metaphor to use when we're talking about this weird, like, outer space concept, but you know what I mean. So that is kind of what they seem to be about. So basically, to sum it up, I basically characterized and viewed these 3 subunits based on the shared trait of members in those subunits according to the storyline. So Luna YYXY seems to embody optimism and joy. They're from Eden. So YYXY is from Eden, and they are about joy. Luna 1/3 is from Earth, and to me they represent hopefulness for just a better future and determination to make that possible. And then Odd Eye Circle seems to have the means to actually make that possible. Odd Eye Circle are the ones from Middle Earth who have the powers, and their trait, I think, is courage. So, full summary, in a few words, would be that Luna YYXY embodies optimism and joy. Luna 1/3 is hopefulness and determination. If it weren't for COVID, I really do think we would have gotten a Luna North American tour this year. So fingers crossed for 2021, 2022. Anyway, so I decided that for the next installment of my Dream List series, we are going to talk about the Dream Luna World Tour set list. So here is what it looks like. So imagine this in order, what the show would look like for a full Luna concert. So first of all, it would start with a bang with So What. That's what they would walk on stage to. They would totally perform So What. Then they would perform Favorite right after that. And then they would all leave the stage, and it would be time for solo and unit songs in the order that they were released, so we follow the journey in a way and switch vibes as we go. It would be very cool if there was a way for Luna to do this show in like a rotating stage fashion where the stage turns it and then the other half circle has like a different set design ready, but I don't know. That's just a wishful thinking, but it'd still be very cool because there's such a unique, different vibe for each solo and subunit that it would be very cool to see that in a very theatrical way come to life. So, you would start with Vivid, of course. I'll Be There, Let Me In, and then after those 3, we'd have a VCR, and during the VCRs, the stage would be reset up for the next group, if needed. Then we have Kiss Later, Every Day I Love You, Eclipse, Singing in the Rain, Love Cherry Motion, and then each subunit would kind of get a medley of their songs. So we would get through solos and go on to subunit songs, and the VCRs would play between subunits. What is necessary for this part, like, I'm not super picky about what songs the subunits mash up and how they mash them up, but what I will insist on is that they have Grimes make a cameo for Love Forever, because that was the most fun, unexpected collab. I mean, there are actually probably a couple more that are really the most fun and unexpected K-pop Western act crossovers, but anyway, Grimes and Luna was really that's so up my alley, I can't even describe it. So I would need to see Grimes and Luna out there. Grimes would play a killer DJ set, maybe even a pre-show DJ set too. I just want her involvement on this. So that would be just so cool and add to the whole overall atmospheric quality of Luna's music that really is so escapist and just full. And so Grimes would really add that bringing the song to life element. So that would be so awesome. So after Love Forever, everyone would come back on stage, subunits over, they'd be back as a group for Hi Hi, and the more cheery stuff. So they started with the baddie stuff, and now they're to the cutesy stuff. Then after Hi Hi, they have Ding Ding Dawn, Where You At? And then they could have some fan-requested covers or more fan talking and interaction, which would probably be dispersed throughout the show, but especially towards the end. It'd be cool to have fans vote on more songs they could perform, because I had a hard time narrowing down my list, so the ones that didn't make the cut on my list would go into the fan voting option before the show. That'd be awesome. And then, of course, the encore would have to be Butterfly. That is just the perfect summary of what Luna's message is all about, and it would really encapsulate the evening perfectly. So, I would call this the Butterfly World Tour, and just to recap, so it would start really fierce with So What and Favorite, then everyone would leave the stage except Heejin, and we would start the solos with Vivid, and there'd be other super fun, colorful sets, of course, as she was joined on stage with Hyunjin for I'll Be There. Then they would have Let Me In and the VCR. So they'd have very fun, vibrant set designs and then the VCR. And then we would get into a new aesthetic of more of a fairy tale-esque look for Kiss Later, Every Day I Love You. And then we would transition to the darker theme. So there probably should be a VCR there. And then the transition would take place to the other world in this universe with Eclipse and Singing in the Rain, Love Cherry Motion, and then we'd have different sets for the subunits. Then we would get to a very regal-looking set for Love Forever, or cottagecore meets regal, basically. So we would start with retro, then we would get into the edgier, sassier vibe, and then we would transition into more of the classy, elegant, royalty-type look. And then Grimes would come on for the Love Forever performance as part of that. There should be some tap dancing in there somewhere. Then they would all come back out for the very fun, cutesy, hi-hi aesthetic, and there would be Ding Ding Dawn, Where You At? And then fan-requested covers, and the evening would conclude with Butterfly. So, let me know your thoughts. I'm curious what other orbits think about what would be the Dream Luna set list, but I would really love to see this type of thing come to life, so fingers crossed for that to happen someday. So the first member we were introduced to is Heejin, who released the song called Vivid as her main first single. And Vivid has lyrics like, the world without any colors, it's boring, and that kind of stuff. So basically the whole premise of the song and her video are about how, the world without colors is boring, basically meaning that you need to add color to your life in a symbolic way as well as literally. In the video, you'll see that. So, the second member we met was Hyunjin, and so her song is Around You, and it's basically a very somber, solitary song, and she definitely appears in that video to just be missing someone or missing something. It takes a definite twist, so as we were introduced to each Luna member, you definitely do see their own unique color added to this, because they really do span genres. It's very hard to explain the differences. But yeah, Hyunjin's music is pretty slowed down for that first song. And it's about, it's about loss and other darker stuff than Heejin's video was. And Hasel's video started out with, we had Let Me In first, and then all three members that we've been introduced to so far were on their Christmas song called The Carol. Let Me In seems more relevant to the storyline. The Carol was kind of, in my view, more of just an almost obligatory holiday release from a group. So, anyway, so Let Me In is basically a pretty darker video again. So, I feel like the order was intentional here, where as we're introduced to Luna members, they alternate between, a bright and fun song, and then a darker or more, just overall more somber or, deep in thought tone to them. We met Yeojin, who is who released honestly one of my personal favorites, which is Kiss Later, which is very, again, we're back to something fun and bouncy and just very cute. And so Kiss Later is really, really just fun. It's literally about kissing, and so in this video it's literally a Cinderella story, and it has the lyrics like, "Don't put your lips on me, it's too quick, we just met," kind of a thing, and it's really cute. So, like, it's literally a Cinderella story. She is, like, running away from this guy who's dressed up as a frog. It's really weird and funny, and it just feels like you're watching a Disney movie or something, but it's so cute, and that's all I want to say about that. But that is one of my favorite videos. It's really fun, and it's pretty accurate, because honestly, like, the whole concept of, like, someone trying to wake you up with a kiss, well, like, I could go on and on about how, like, messed up that is. So anyway, I appreciated the message there. So Vivi is the next member we meet, and she released Every Day I Love You, with Hassel joining her for that song, and then I Need You with Jinsol. So Every Day I Love You is one that has some really retro vibes. It's another cool aesthetic, and it comes back, so just all you need to remember for the story's sake is the retro vibes from that video. And then Every Day I Need You is back to more of a somber tone, where she's wandering around the city alone, and it's more melancholy for sure. After this video is when I noticed that the screen that shows Luna's logo that appears before every music video as the music videos are starting, the intro screen that shows the logo has gone from being white every time to being black. So now the screen is black with Luna's logo glowing out of the middle of it. And now all the music videos I'll talk about next are no longer in, like, normal, I guess you could say, everyday hangout spots, or, like, you know, relatively realistic homes, maybe a little bit more colorful than your house, but you know what I mean. We're definitely not on Earth anymore. The first part of that world is Kim Lip's songs, and so she released Eclipse and Twilight. This is when we start seeing, like, close-ups in these videos of their eyes, and in this case, they're red eyes, not hers, but you see a red eye at the beginning, which I think makes more sense in context if you watch the video and the ones that come after it. But anyway, so Kim Lip has a video for Eclipse where there are alternating scenes where she's in this room. It almost looks like a coliseum if they took out all of the ability to sit down and all of the people. Like, it's just this huge round room that she's dancing in alone, and she's performing there alone, but it's alternating between all these, like, split-second transitions to clips of her surrounded by dancers, so she's alone, not alone, alone, not alone, and that's seems to be part of the concept of the video. And like the Jinsol, who released Singing in the Rain and Love Letter. Singing in the Rain is the one with the music video, though. The key lyric that stands out to me from that one is the nocturnal sun, and referencing this nocturnal sun is obviously a clear connection to the fact that she's, like, in the flipped world. So in a lot of ways it does mirror the other side, but in other ways it clearly doesn't. And this is, you know, the nocturnal version of the world. They're contrasted as night and day in some senses. Next up, we have Cherry, who released Love Cherry Motion, which is another one of my favorites. We're not at my favorite yet, but we'll get there. So anyway, Love Cherry Motion, and then Puzzle was the B-side if you're interested, but I prefer Love Cherry Motion, and I'm glad that was the single, to be honest. That seems to be a big moment because there is a song from one of the subunits called Girlfront, and in the Girlfront video, there is one 3-colored moon, and in Cherry's video for Love Cherry Motion, you see 3 same-colored moons. So, got that? So, there's a song with 3 same-colored moons, and then there's a video with 1 3-colored moon. In the last part, the trends seem to be references to connections to the moon and eclipses and, you know, the nighttime and all that kind of stuff, etc., etc., pointing out the night and day kind of comparisons between the worlds. And so the main defining symbol I found in the third group is the apple, and obviously that represents temptation. It could basically the fruits are like the power, if you eat the fruit, it's your power to travel between the worlds, and so that's why people on Eden, when they consume the apples, they seem to be able to interact with other members. That's just, it's quite a web I could draw for you about how this connects to that, but that's the basic premise, is that the apple symbolism shows up a lot in the following videos. And so in the next video, we clearly see references to past videos. So the next video is from Eve, and it is for the song New, and D1 is the B-side, by the way, but New is the title track with a video. So what Eve did is she wore this white outfit that is a lot like ones I've seen previous members wear in the earlier videos, which seems to be intentional. I also noticed that she is in a retro setting, a retro aesthetic, the same retro vibes I got from one of the earlier videos that I already mentioned, from Every Day I Love You, and now for New, that setting is back, which seems pretty intentional to me. And then there's this thought that she ate that forbidden fruit, the apple, in this video, and then that allows her to travel to meet Vivi, and there are a lot of theories that I'm not sure how much I agree with these ones, but people think that Vivi's character is actually not human, so either an android or just like part, like I guess alien of some sort, or just not fully human. And so basically, some people think a subplot is really trying to help Vivi, like, I guess turn back into a full human, because I guess, like, at this point in the story they think that she was fully human and then wasn't eventually. Anyway, so there's a lot, Vivi's a key character in this whole story. And so anyway, so in this video, it seems like Eve is really starting to try to control this story and figure out basically what her goals are and where she wants to go from here. And finally, we gotta talk about my favorite from my bias. So some people say Choo Choo, some people just call her Choo, I call her Choo. Choo is my bias, and she's really just adorable, and you'll see if there's any video I convince you to just go watch instead of listening to me talk about it. I mean, don't, like, stop listening to this, but, like, if you really want the full experience, what you need to watch is this video. So it's for Heart Attack, so if you look up Luna Heart Attack, you'll see it. It is so, so cute. But at the end, people might dig into the symbolism over Choo waking up from a dream by her crush in the video, so her crush wakes her up. So how much of the video of them getting to meet each other and fall in love, essentially, how much of that was in the dream and how much was not in the dream, it was before she fell asleep, is unclear and up to your interpretation, but that is overall the premise of the video. So now that we have the song called New, we're back into the concept of really acting out what the song New was trying to do. So New is like a self-reflective song, and then Choo is kind of acting out the action that was taken after reflection. So some of the overall plot lines so far that seem to sum up what the music videos up until this point that I've talked about are all about. Well, first of all, it seems like Vivi has this unique storyline, whether you believe she's an android or what, and they're trying to all kind of navigate how to have a relationship with her and how that might be different than the relationships they have with full humans, and how to help her bring her into the fold and interact with her. Two, then there seems to be this plot that the subunits are trying to figure out how to come together and cross and travel through their universes to all finally get to the same universe and ideally create this new world where they all live together as opposed to on these separate sides of the strip, separate planets, however you want to put it. Three, it seems like Eve really wants to help create this new universe. Remember, Eve is the character with the song called New, and it seems like some people think Olivia has these sinister motives and is trying to stop Eve from creating this new world. 4, it seems like Yojin is lost and needs guidance to get to the others more than the others, maybe with the exception of Vivi. And 5, although there are probably a bajillion more that fans have come up with, another big point to me seems to just be that these music videos embody these conversation starters about what it really means to be fully human, and what it means to fall in love, and what it means to just live the ups and downs of life, and, you know, accepting the good and the bad, and how you want to just exist, really, like how you want to create your story, and how you're going to embrace the bad parts of it, turn them into good parts, work with what life hands you, keep living and just living in harmony with others. Those are kind of some overall themes that seem to be present in just overall, like, universal themes for the LOONAverse. That relation to each other is how the actual songs play out too. So like I was saying right from the very beginning with the release of Vivid and Vivid Acoustic, that kind of set the stage for that to continue to be just the normal aspect of Loona solo releases and subunit releases, where they have a song release and then the same song release but a different version, be it acoustic or an English version or something just totally out of the box, a new genre for the song, or it's a song with just a different title and otherwise it's kind of different from the other song, or with other songs that are basically like picking up. So like songs are in pairs essentially, where one song has a concept that like introduces the partner song, which is like picking up where the intro song left off. So they're kind of like they're songs that go together. They're complete in their story if you put them together, and they represent different sides of the same human experience. So that's the best way I can think of to kind of summarize it. So like My Melody and My Sunday have the connection Every Day I Love You and then Every Day I Need You. There's Love and Live and Love and Evil. There's Eclipse and then Twilight, which I guess that's not as directly opposites, but maybe. Girlfront and Oddfront. I mean, I can go on and on. So it is interesting how there are these intentional parallels in both titles and lyric switches. Sometimes just a few little subtle song lyric switches are in the partner version of a song, but they're all intentional lyric changes, it seems, and it's a very cool, unique concept. And like I said, it does also allow for Loona to be unique because of how out of the box they are and how you can't really put them in a genre. We've talked about before how K-pop is more of an industry than a genre, but even aside from that, they wouldn't be called like stereotypical K-pop either, because the track, the feel of the tracks is so varied, because you do have ballads, you have more bubblegum pop, you have kind of doo-woppy style, like early Ariana Grande, like Yours Truly era doo-woppy style songs. You have very piano-heavy songs. You have guitar-heavy songs / like acoustic, like soft, not soft rock, I guess it's not really rock, but it's its own thing. You have more electronic vibes in some songs. You have songs with a lot of background sound effects and instrumentals thrown in, and then songs that are very stripped back. So there are a million ways to categorize the different songs of Loona, and that's part of the appeal, because there's a Loona song for everybody. The next member we meet is Go1, with the single One and Only. Seesaw was Go1's B-side track, and in the One and Only video, some of the key moments to keep in mind for the sake of the storyline. First of all, some of the lyrics in the first verse, I believe, that are important are the moon illuminating the sky like stage lighting. And that's a really cool lyric, honestly. But also it does have some cool meaning behind it. The moon illuminating the sky obviously is it represents this darkness, or it could represent darkness, but also the moon is a light on its own, if you know what I mean. So the moon is like, if it comes out, it's viewed as like it's nighttime, it's darkness, but also the moon is like literally a light. So, and describing it as if it's a stage light, that metaphor I just think is really cool. Like, the moon reflecting on you is like still your time to shine, you know? Moonchild, it's your time to shine, if you know what I'm talking about. So, another key moment from that video that I didn't realize until my latest rewatch of this music video, but there's a connection between the One and Only video and the Butterfly music video, because there's a butterfly in the One and Only video, this blue butterfly that Go One like holds out her hands and like has approach her and touch her, and it's a very cool moment. This video has a lot of moments like that in hindsight now I'm realizing how much those little moments actually were like Easter eggs prefacing videos that were released afterwards. Another key thing is that Go One setting is in this long hallway with all these doors on the sides, and it's the kind of long corridor that sets the mood for a dramatic scene automatically. And if you are ARMY and listening to this, you know why that's like, that scene is bringing back some emotional memories for a totally different music video universe. But anyway, so the setting seems just destined to be for dramatic scenes. And so she's there, and there's basically the first half of the video, she's alone wandering the halls of this building, and it's dark out, and she's seated at this long fancy dinner table has place settings for way more than one person, but she's alone. And then the second half of the video is when she looks up and she's surrounded with the other members at that table. So they're all coming together, and now in all these scenes, they're with her. So the scenes where she's at the table, they're with her now. The scenes where she was running towards the door at the end of the corridor, now they're running along with her, and they all look happier than she did when she was alone. All of her dance breaks now include other people, so now she's just with other people trying to reach this door. A lot of clear symbolism there of trying to, escape to this other place by finally getting the door of opportunity open. And another key moment here was that she, again, the apple symbolism is here, and so she dropped the apple on her way to run toward the door, which could be interpreted in different ways, and I'll leave that up to you to decide. So, another big thing is that she has this key moment towards the end of the video where she's in white, I believe, and then she hugs someone wearing black clothes, or maybe it's vice versa, but the point is black and white are coming together now, which, remember, throughout this storyline, that the black versus white colored logo screens and things like that were meant to be contrasted, and those parallels are symbolic, and so this seems like a full circle moment that black and white are coming together. And the next few videos I'm going to talk about are even more pivotal and show this big full circle moment of the LOONAverse and its subunits. And so those are the kind of the main things that happen in the One and Only video. The key thing I would say for the story is, the merging of black and white, as well as running towards the door now with the other members. One more thing to keep in mind is that all of the members in this video are wearing these plaid outfits that were in a past music video, and those keep coming up. Ever since they were worn by Eve in the new video, you'll see those outfits come up again and again, more than any other outfit repeats or outfit concept repeats that you see in Loona videos. So I just feel like that's very symbolic, that the outfit that is repeated the most and all of the members are wearing together is the one that came from the music video that was called New and signaled a shift in the storyline. The last Loona member we meet with a solo debut is Olivia, with the music video for Egoist, and Rosie was her B-side. And Egoist, again, I know I've said this a million times now, so I guess that defeats the point, but it is one of my favorites. I'll have to really narrow down the list to like a top 3 to make that statement actually like carry weight to say that it's my favorite, but you know what I mean. So, Egoist is a video that features a few symbols that connect to the lyrics and the rest of the story. It fits in well with the rest of the storyline. And so a few key details in the video. So in the Egoist video, it starts out with Olivia is on this mattress, and she wakes up and she's in like what looks like some empty warehouse room, very similar to the one that members were dancing in the alternate universe music videos earlier. So that is something noteworthy. And then there is the fact that, so we'll get back to talk about the flower petals, but just know one of the key lyrics is all the petals fell, and there are other lyrics referencing these petals, so that is probably the closest example to lyrics and symbols that are visuals in the music video being connected. Another key lyric is basically, I mean, this is kind of a paraphrase, but it goes along the lines of, saw the moonlight at the edge of the darkness, and from now on I will live on and taking another step, love myself today, let you go today. Those are the key lyrics of the chorus, love myself today, let you go today, and referencing the moonlight and the edge of darkness, all very much fits into this theme we've been talking about. She's wearing white in this video, in some scenes in black in others. We've talked about that color symbolism before. So this is really feels like one of the most full circle music videos that the solo artists have had. The lighting changes throughout the video when she's dancing in this parking garage type place include the red light that we saw in the alternate universe, and there's also now blue light, as well as some that's black, where it's dark in there, and other scenes where it's like this really bright, blinding light. So a lot of light changes throughout the video. The apple symbolism is back. Some lyrics that reference people being one and the same, like I see you or me and now I'm you, which overall seems to hint at the fact that Olivia is connecting the dots here and seeing that the universes can come together and the people that live on the different sides of this Mobius strip can actually converge in the center and hopefully live together in harmony. And another key moment towards the end of the video is that she is looking down over this railing. So there's like this warehouse, but somehow it's like a 2-story warehouse thing, and she's looking over the railing now at that mattress, and now it's got red flower petals scattered all over it. And then at the end of the video, she's back at the mattress, but with the red petals still there. And the color red here that is inserted into black and white scenes, or not literally black and white, they're colored, but there are scenes that have a lot of black or white in them, and injecting that with a lot of bright red seems very meaningful. Red is a color to represent passion and intense emotions, among many other things, and it ends with a key detail that please you need to keep in mind for one of the latest music videos that we're going to talk about, one of the most recent ones in this timeline. So the key detail at the end of this video is that there is this cassette tape that is on fire. So memories burning is the clear symbolism there. So just remember that cassette tape. And before we go into the full group videos, there is a subunit video I want to quick talk about a little, which is Love Forever. I'm not just talking about it because I'm biased for Grimes, and I am Grimes Hive, and we have been thriving with that release and hope for more, but also because it is truly a big video to go along with the storyline. So Love Forever is Luna YYXY's video, and they're in this mansion, but it reminds me a little bit of Hogwarts because it's got that old school look to it. It's really big and fancy, but it's a lot cuter and more pastel-y, and it's like if Fancy Nancy got to basically be the designer that redesigned Hogwarts. So anyway, so it's Fancy Nancy Palace here, and they're dancing in it, and they're all wearing plaid outfits again like before. The fact that they're all wearing the same look when they hadn't in the past definitely goes along with the theme of the lyrics in these later releases about I realize I'm like you and you're like me, especially if you believe the theories about Vivi not being fully human, or maybe the other members not. It's like they're reaching this point of understanding, and that maybe they all have more humanity and more shared traits than they realized. And now Love Forever seemed to be a turning point where the members of Loona are finally like interacting with each other more than they ever had in previous videos. And a key lyric from Love Forever is Tell Me Your Story, which again goes to the core of what Loona's all about, which is we can be alike enough to get along, but also tell me your individual story and how are you, Loona, essentially. And then there were 12, and we finally got to see Loona all come together for a really fun video. Again, I have to say it's one of my favorites, so I'm going to have to update my review to make the word favorite actually mean something and not just be every Loona song. But favorite really is one of my favorite videos, no terrible pun intended. So this video for favorite is when all of the girls are wearing white on top and black on bottom with white button-ups and black skirts. It's a really cute look, and it's symbolic of the black and white coming together. And so all 12 of them are in the same room finally for the first time in a video, and it's just a really cute, fun song. There's not too much to dissect in it, honestly. It just seems to be about a crush and you're my favorite person and let's be together, etc. And there is a little more to that theme, but also like deeper content if you actually pay attention in the Hi Hi music video, which came after that. So for Hi Hi, it's kind of a contrast yet again with the darker videos, like just literally darker. Favorite is an upbeat song, but it's in a darker setting, and Hi Hi is as pastel technicolor as that gets, if that's a good description of it. And so the Hi Hi video features all the members of LOONA in different locations again, but they all seem to be turned toward the same point, like they're all listening to this intercom message, and they're turned toward this center intercom or center stage or something. They're all facing like a center, as if they're in this big circle, and they're all looking at the center from their different locations, and they all eventually run towards each other. We see more references to like past outfits and past interactions between certain members, and the cutest lyric to me is just "make me say hi," which is kind of the overall theme, like get to know me and I'll get to know you and let's hang out. It's just so cute. And so they're running around towards each other and meeting up, and the whole thing seems to be an interesting collection of scenes where they're learning how to interact with each other and they're bonding, and it's really kind of this accumulation of the storyline this whole time where they were trying to figure out their individual identities, and now that they feel like they get that, they are coming together to create this group identity and figuring out what LOONA means to them as a whole, and the key to relationships in holding on to your individual identity as well, you know, because friends can help bring out good traits and unique traits in each other. So it's about finding a comfort level with other people. To me, there is this image with a few apples on the ground at the beginning of the video, which seems like maybe that's a sign that they're a couple now. That, I mean, that could mean different things, but I would say it's kind of like, okay, we've done that symbol and we're moving on from it, is my view. Like, they're feeling more content in their lives and they don't need to go back to like this temptation and this internal dilemma. But that's just my deep, possibly too deep look into that symbol. And it could have just been a little Easter egg for fans to be like, hey, that's a reference to past music videos, but to each his own interpretation. But the key detail, remember I told you to remember that burning cassette tape, is that the video ends, I believe it's toward the end, where you see someone holding a cassette tape again. It's not on fire or anything, but it's there, and it looks a lot bigger than the last one, honestly. It's like a VHS tape. And the burning of the tape is kind of like, that was a fake identity, now I want to preserve this tape because this is the real me. And this, I think, was a key video for the fandom and why people love LOONA so much. Especially in the USA, LOONA is everything, because they really are, they embody that thought that you are LOONA and we are LOONA. They talk about this all the time. The fandom name references it too, the orbits, because we are each our own orbit. We all have our own universes, but we all can come together and join the LOONAverse. So it's all about, again, that ability to have this individual expression and identity, but also feel like you're part of something and have a special welcoming environment and group identity in the LOONA fandom. And the last video I want to talk about is for So What. And So What was their latest release. It starts with this intercom message again. Again, it's another contrast that they keep doing so well at, which is Hi Hi was an intercom voice that was just fun and optimistic sounding, and then this intercom voice sounds dark and serious, and the voiceover says, "Do not accept the fate of the moon," which obviously we know what that's about by this point in the story. "Get off the track, reveal the world to the world, the hidden side," which is, again, we get the references here, and then burn yourself, which I think is basically, like, if the lyrics that come after that intercom message apply here, burn yourself meaning let yourself take off, you know, like, let yourself come to life, let the flames come out of you. I don't know how to describe it, but I get what they're trying to say, like, set yourself on fire, as in, like, let your passion burn in you, I think, you know, don't let your light go out, kind of a metaphor. And at the front end of the video, you do see one of the members holding a torch, which goes along with that theme. And there are lyrics about, like, your eyes burning with passion and, you know, don't hide the burn, which it sounds weird, but you know what I mean. And towards the end of the video, we see one of the planets is on fire. One of these LOONAverse planets is just burning from the inside out, it looks like. And so that seems to be a hint at them destroying the world that they realized they didn't want. So I believe that was the alternate world. I mean, maybe they are just queens of climate change awareness, and they were actually burning the earth to remind us all that the world's on fire. But maybe they were also just queens of telling us to get rid of the planet that we don't like, which is the alternate one where our evil sides lurk. That was the Eden one, the place of temptation. Maybe it's that too, maybe it's both. But either way, queens. And then the video ends with the key words on the screen that say free, just big red letters that say free. Yes, the red, I believe, continues to be symbolic here. And yeah, the video is just a real fun thing. It's definitely Loona with more attitude than ever. So they still have cutesy concepts, hopefully. But this video is a little more, not edgy, but a little more fierce and confident. So that's what Loona is all about. It's all about figuring out how you are a part of Loona, how you want to be featured, and that's, I should have said this earlier, but that's what the butterfly video is all about. It features girls from around the world. It was filmed in 5 different locations across the world, and features girls of all sorts of backgrounds with all sorts of interests and passions, and that's the overall message they're sending. We can all fly like butterflies, and we can all be a part of Loona, which is why we want everyone to stay in Loona. It's aggressive niceness and trying to get you to realize we can all be friends. So that is basically what Loona is all about, and it feels very full circle now with the story, with that burning of the world. So I'm excited to hear what comes next, because they'll probably start a new chapter of the LOONAverse where, I mean, I think it'll have some elements of the symbolism that still have to be tied up, those loose ends, like the wrecked plane that we went on to address, the diamond symbol in the one video. There are other symbols that seem to be not having any loose ends tied up yet. So the story continues, but also I believe it'll have a lot of new content and new plot lines in the future. So I'm excited to watch what unfolds in the LOONAverse, and that is the point. The overall point really is that when you say you're excited to see what happens in the LOONAverse, remember they say we are Loona, so we should be excited for what our futures can unravel for us. And so it's just overall a really great uplifting message that the world needs right now, and so that is what it is all about. So yes, in conclusion, I would be so remiss to not end the episode by saying this, but in conclusion, stan Loona. Thanks for listening to 17 Carat K-Pop today. Check out more info about the show at 17caratkpop.weebly.com. See you tomorrow.